Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I have some pretty awesome RMP mirrors on the beta. So this is level 120 PvP, not level 110. And on the beta, you actually have talents, honor talents, like everything like on 8.0 Live, but you also are level 120, so you have a little bit more life and mana, but also you have Azurite armor. So the Azurite armor, as I talked about in previous videos, gives specific traits. You can kind of build and customize your character a little bit more. So just keep that in mind when you're watching this video. It's very similar to 8.0, except for higher level, and we have Azurite armor, so things are actually a little bit closer to how they will be in Season 1 of BfA, right? This is actually probably a little more indicative than the 8.0 110 PvP that we're playing with, but anyway, we are playing Frost sub RMP. Julie is, I laugh because Julia is my girlfriend and he was making fun. Anyway, that's Snuts, alright? We're playing RMP with Snuts, and Lightbulb is Ink, a priest that I like to play with. I've uploaded some gameplay. We play FMP with Bean sometimes and stuff like that. But anyway, we're fighting in a Fire Assassin Discipline Priest FMP here. And I really want to slow down these games, because just so, like, the games aren't super long, but so much is happening. So I'd rather just, like, really slowly break these down so you guys can understand what's happening, instead of just posting 30 minutes of just gameplay. Because those breakdowns are what the YouTube channel is all about. But anyway, the kidney shot is on the priest, cheap shots on the mage, rogues and stealth. We want to follow up the CC on the priest. I already got my orb down, so the orb is starting to do damage because I already threw the orb onto the mage. I want to get the Comet Storm Ice Nova out, but I need to get the Polymorph onto the priest, okay? The Polymorph onto the priest could be stopped if the rogue opens on me. The Polymorph could be stopped if the mage trinket counterspells me. Or if the priest human trinket of the kidney and then death the Polymorph. Cast the Polymorph and blink. Looks like I do get the Polymorph. Trinket and Temp Shield comes out from the enemy mage, but the Comet Storm Ice Nova is now going to land, so it's going to be a lot of damage. Rogue now opens up onto me. Looks like they're going to go for the stop on the resheep here. I blink and actually do get the resheep. Rogue misses his step kick, and the double fear now comes off onto the priest and to the rogue. Mage pressure continues, but he's completely diminished on stuns, or he has just a quarter stun to your left, so it doesn't quite look like we are going to be able to force Ice Block, but we did force Rogue's Trinket, we did force Mage's Trinket, and Priest is playing Relentless, so doesn't look like we're going to be able to force any type of Trinket there, just the human Trinket. I start channeling that Ray of Frost just for a second because they have no kick and no counterspell available, as you can see here on Omnibar. They burst into me very, very heavily right there, and I am forced into my Ice Block at around 15% life. So as you can see, Fire Assassin does so much burst damage. I mean, so does Frost Sub, but Fire Assassin is just a bunch of just like instant cast damage that is kind of continues, and then it bursts very hard and then continues with that consistent pressure. So it's actually very scary to play against. So they actually force out the first Ice Block to the game. I am Frost though, so I have another Ice Block. Here's downtime, right? Priest is still diminished for 3 seconds on Polymorph. Rogue is free, so I'm polymorphing the Rogue to try to bait a Dispel. The goal is I poly the Rogue. The rogue gets dispelled. I re-poly him on the dispel. Now he can't get out. We kidney shot the priest or cheap shot the priest. Then switch the polymorph to the priest. If I get counterspelled by the mage, then I ring him, and then we force the mage's Ice Block. That'd be perfect, right? And then we follow up with a fear on the rogue or a fear onto the priest once that's back up. So that's kind of, I'll play the video. That's kind of what we're aiming for here. Smite's coming out. The blind actually comes out onto priest. I think, yeah, that was diminishing. That was DR'd for another 2 or 3 seconds there. A little unfortunate. The polymorph comes on the rogue, blind, the short blind onto the priest, and the kidney shot onto the mage. Little unfortunate that was a DR'd blind there, but go ahead and shrink it. Trying to get the CC out onto the priest. Doesn't look like I can quite get it. Looks like he human trinkets that. The quarter fear not coming out, so we kind of messed up our blind and fear DRs right there. Counterspelled the mage though in that polymorph, getting some frost bolts off. Do get kicked. Now I can get that full polymorph onto the enemy priest. Mage is off stun diminishing return right now, so we can stun the mage. It's actually wonderful. Resheep that priest. Rogue is on me for a little bit though. Not taking too much damage. I'm trying to get a quarter sheep, but that smoke bomb prevents me from doing so. Common Storm Ice Nova comes out, and we do force the Ice Block from the enemy mage. Now this is his one and only block. Plus, his Cauterize is already gone, so if we get one more CC chain on the priest playing Relentless, we can actually win this game. And once I Cold Snap, I actually have a second block available, which I should say, I should have already Cold Snap by right now. Having Cold Snap up is still a mistake. I should have already snapped, so if I get stunned, I don't die without blocking, right? So I do Cold Snap right now, so that's good. Little bit late there. So once again, sheeping the rogue, right? I want to control the pace of the game during our downtime. There's 5 seconds on the diminishing return on the polymorph on the priest. Can't get that quite yet, so we switch the focus or switch the target to the rogue. Spam sheep on the rogue. We fake the mage's counterspell, so we're free to cast. We polymorph the rogue. I'm predicting the dispel onto the rogue to try to get that. And here we just have some cross CC. So the priest and the rogue were feared. All right. I can follow the fear with a polymorph on the rogue, and I follow the fear with a ring on the priest. Okay, so now it's a full ring on the priest, a sheep, a fear on a rogue, and now it's a 3v1, all of us 3 versus the enemy mage, right? So that's really, really powerful. Snuts is actually stuck in that Frost Nova just for a second. Put that priest in my focus, going for a half polymorph there. They have no counterspell for it. Polymorph's coming out onto my rogue though, so they're trying to stall out the game just like we were trying to stall out the game. I pop Icy Veins, big burst, use that Ray of Frost. Does get interrupted though by that rogue. Nice step kick from him. And it looks like we might actually need one more go before we finish this game. And we have Ice Block if we need it to kind of stall out the game for one more go. Until then, which would be totally fine. Now the Double Fear comes out under the rogue and of the priest once again. Mage casting polymorph. I do use my counterspell onto it. Looks like he did fake me there. He did fake me. Still casting that poly. I would love to get a polymorph on the enemy priest. Let's see if I can get it. We do get the full polymorph. Mage is off stun to yard 1 second. He's off stun to yard now. Polymorph being casted once again. Do manage to get that resheep though. And then the mage actually gets bursted down super hard by my rogues. That's one of the pros of sub rogue right now is they burst incredibly hard with the DFA Mark for Death. Abyss kind of combo that I've been seeing on Peekaboo stream and Snuts' stream and Samayam's stream recently. It's just huge burst combos with sub, and Assass is very powerful as well. Assass damage is absolutely nuts right now. I'd be surprised if it didn't get nerfed, but sub has the control. The consistent pressure isn't quite there because I mean, you have high burst and you have high control. The consistent pressure isn't quite there for sub, so that's kind of the trade-off. It's like, do you want... I broke the blind there. I thought we were going to go priest, but that's my bad. But it's kind of like, do you want more burst and control, or do you want more consistent pressure and burst? That's the difference between Assassin and Sub, if you guys were kind of wondering there. But that was the damage breakdown from this game. Frost actually doing a good amount of damage compared to Fire, which is very interesting, right? Because in previous expansions, like in Legion, Fire did a lot more consistency and Frost did a lot more burst. But right now, at least for this tuning, it looks like Frost has the upper hand in damage and the upper hand on burst. So it looks like Frost is just going to be very kind of more powerful for the time being. But let's hop into another match. All right, guys, same matchup right here. RMP versus RMP, same guys. The only thing that changed is now we're on Tolveron Arena. Had a bunch of fun games against these guys the other day, so I was like, okay, might as well commentate them to kind of slow things down and post them. I guess I just brought up my talents there. I am playing Ray of Frost. I'm not playing Glacial. Reason being is RMP is a little bit too fast-paced for Glacial, right? It's difficult to actually get 5 Frost Bolts off or get 5 Icicles and then cast a Glacial when the goes are sometimes just a second or two long. Now, this game opens up a little bit unfortunate. Rogue opens up onto me. The Priest, my Priest gets polymorphed, and now we're trying to get the counter pressure. But it started the other way around. On the last map, we got that CC first, and they started going. So I get that temp shield. There was no follow-up stun, so I get that temp shield, and it looks like I'm going to be A-okay. Trying to get some spell steals off as well. Trying to clean up this mage, and then I can try to fake the counterspell. Do fake the counterspell right there into that full polymorph. Now that we faked the counterspell, got the full poly, mage is forced to trigger temp and kind of blink away. Trying to get a resheep here. Looks like I do get it. Throwing down that orb, the Ice Nova. Trying to get some more pressure. We get the double sheep into the fear, and mage is in so much trouble, and they actually overlap pain suppression and ice block. They did save the cauterize though for another day, so that's you know, not great that they overlap, but it's good that they at least got the block before the cauterize. That's really good. Rogue, once again, it's like clockwork, guys. Rogue's being polymorphed in between our goes, while Priest still has his diminishing return up, so I can kind of delay and stop their go until our next go, right? So it's like RMP is like go, burst. Okay, pause the game, slow the game. All right, we have DRs. All right, go, burst. It's one or the other, right? So right now we're in kind of one of those situations where we're hanging out, we're chilling. I'm trying to fake kicks here, trying to keep the rogue CC'd. That's pretty much all that's going on. Casting Frost Bolts, not really to do damage, but to build up Icicles so that when we do damage, then it's a little bit, more burst, right? I think I fake the death there and get the full polymorph onto the priest, so that's great. Fake the kick, fake the death. Now the full fear comes out, a little bit more burst damage coming. fear into that polymorph once again, into that half blind in the quarter sheep, and the mage finally goes down. So this was a quicker game, and it's very similar to the last one, but there's just a lot of stuff happening. That's why I like to be able to slow things down here on YouTube and like pause the video and explain exactly what's going on to try to help you guys with your gameplay as well. The damage breakdown on this was actually, I actually did a little bit less than the Fire Mage. I was focused probably a little bit more on control. They got the opener. My Rogue did a ton of damage, and then both mages actually did a little bit less, trying to just focus on getting those setups and control. But I have one more game against these same guys for you guys to check out. All right, Ash Remains Fall once again. We have the RMP Mirror, slightly different specializations, of course. And right away, I run in to get combat so I don't get sapped, throwing out a couple spell steals, try to clean the enemy mage. Go ahead and shrink that opener, throw that trinket attempt, trying to get that full polymorph or Ring of Frost, but I actually missed that Ring of Frost. Or I think I was just slightly delayed on that Ring of Frost because there was Relentless there on the Priest, and he does get out of my Ring of Frost and death it, so he actually gets himself on that DR without actually sitting any CC. However, since all that was happening, my Rogue did so much damage that he actually forced the Cauterize from the Mage himself, and that's what I'm talking about, guys. Sub-Rogue burst is insane. I guess the upside, or the downside of sub, though, is like right now, we don't have a ton of pressure. And they're actually like, okay, we want to try to hit the sub-rogue to kind of stop his pressure, stop his damage, because they're like, okay, the mage isn't doing anything. It's the sub-rogue that's soloing. Mage is kind of just there for a CC bot, kind of control a game. And I think they noticed that, so they're actually switching out onto my rogue. Once again, sheeping the rogue in between goes, trying to get the kicks out of the way. Looks like get that counter spell out of the way there. Trying to get a full CC onto the enemy priest. It's going to be a kidney shot into a fear. Could try to get a sheep off the fear. Massive spell coming out as well. If we get this full sheep, there it is. Could just end the game very, very soon here. That DR blind comes out once again, but the mage goes down. So pretty quick games back and forth here. It's really, guys, when you're playing RMP, keep in mind anything's a kill target, okay? Depends on trinket, depends on positioning, and depends on diminishing returns. You really want to keep an eye on S Arena or Gladius, whatever add-on you prefer, and look at those DRs. Look at the kidney shots, the blinds, the polymorphs, the trinkets, kind of who's in that vulnerable position, and then kind of do your goes, do your double CC, do your triple CC based on that, and then set up kills around that. That's why this comp is fun to play if you have the synergy. I don't play too much RMP, as you guys know, but I do enjoy it from time to time when I'm playing with a rogue or a priest that really knows how to play the composition. But here's the damage breakdown. Look at that. Sub-rogue, 426,000 damage. The sub is definitely going to get nerfed too. There's no way that burst is staying that high. But I think a lot of things are going to get nerfed or changed or buffed, or, you know, it's still beta. All right, we're playing on beta PvP. That's why things aren't completely up to date on how they will be in a few months from now. But I actually did the least amount of damage, but I think I did a decent job controlling the pace of the match with those polymorphs or those kicks, with the slows, and then actually getting the damage in where I need it as well. Guys, if you enjoyed these RMP mirrors, make sure to give the video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. If you did not like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs down so I know not to upload something like this again. And talk to me down below in the comments about what type of videos you guys want to see next. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next upload. Peace.